Yo, what up? What up? What's good, my people? My people. Let y'all load up, man. Hopefully, everybody getting their power back. The snow is definitely different. BJ, what's good with you, fam? Want to talk about Antonio Brown and get everybody thoughts. I'm surprised the usual suspect ain't active this morning, but I guess you know ain't no way he can spin it. And you know who we talking about. Just processing the AB statement. Yeah, that's all of us, man. We definitely processing the statement released by AB. Like anytime the side that's deemed as the bad guy responds, you know, it's always interesting what take like everybody's take. You feel me? So I'm interested on what everybody's take. Oh, I didn't put the link in the description. Let me put the link in the description as well. That way, when people come in, it's on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, then I could send it later. Just want to get everybody's thoughts. Have a chill discussion because everybody got their own view and their own take, and that's fine. I should have let me air airdrop his letter to my computer so I can show it too. Oh, I sent it twice. Yeah, man. The link in the description if you want to join live. If not, that's okay. I figured I'd come on Facebook first, and then I end up still doing a Twitter space. Also, I know the Twitter space definitely get super active because it's so much easier to communicate. But I want to, come on Facebook first. Hopefully the connection is fine. So y'all let me know if that's messing up. So we should be good. I know it's super early though. But I'm gonna go ahead and share what he said. Up, not yet. If you're just joining in, man, say what's up so I know you're in the building. But we're gonna get started here shortly. I ain't want to start and then have to stop and double back. That's why I'm waiting. What's that? All right. So I think I got. All right, that's both of them. Trife, what's good? How you doing, fam? Jamie, what's good with you? Mine, what's good? Got this watch on too tight. It's cut my circulation off. I know you know some battle rappers, coach. Bring them to the Midnight Madness. Oh no. Heck no. I can't bring no battle rappers I know to that Midnight Madness. They'll get cooked. No, we talking about like like professionals. Like that Midnight Madness is for professionals only. Don't be thinking you nice and then get schmit at. Brandon said I'm at work. I'll be the first to say I owe an apology for my initial thought. AB was just having another one of his episodes. We don't know everything yet, but I was definitely wrong for assuming anything because I didn't know the situation. Salute to you, BJ. Salute to you, bro. All right, man. So I wanted to get his daggone his letter pulled up in the screen. Oh, you know what? I know what I could do. Hold on. Let me use Twitter right quick. Hold on. I wanted to show you guys, I want to read along with you guys what was written. And I know I could just pull it up on Twitter. That's what I can do. There we go. Here you go, right here. All right. Now I share like that. Hold on, Stefan. I get you in, bro. And you gotta make sure your camera right and stuff too, bro. Don't be having no background noise and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got 2022. We're gonna take it to a new level. You dig? All right, here we go. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. Y'all can see that good. Man, Edward said what's good is 50-50, but I actually believe AB. I see the change in his actions from his last few situations. First of all, he now has a publicist, someone got in his head before or during Tampa. He threw a temper tantrum during the game. That's the error, how he's finding normalcy with expressing himself. All right, so here we go. This is what AB or his publicist or anybody in this camp released. This is the first part. It's two parts. It said, first of all, I like to express my gratitude to Bucks fans and my teammates. The Bucks helped me return to productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. Hold on, let me put this big screen so y'all can get the full screen. There you go. I make mistakes. I'm working on myself. And I have positive influence around me. But one thing I don't do is shy away from playing hard on the field. No one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure directly from my coach to play injured. Despite the pain, I suited up. The staff injected me with what I now know was a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller that the NFLPA has warned against using. And I gave it my all for the team. I played until it was clear that I could not use my ankle to safely perform my playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sideline and my coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle, but he knew that. It was well documented and we discussed it. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, no, get on the field." I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for the medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, then I was done with the Bucks. I didn't quit. I was cut. I didn't walk away from my brothers. I was thrown out. Being fired on the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed several games with the injury, he and I exchanged texts before the game where he clearly acknowledged my injury. He obviously knew I was on the injured list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text messages to my camp that I did tell coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. And then he goes on to say, I know we were losing to the Jets, and that was frustrating for all of us. But I could not make football plays on that ankle. Yes, I walked off the field. But there's a major difference between launching from the line and taking hits compared to jogging off the field with a rush of emotions going through your mind. I am reflecting on my reaction, but there was a trigger. The trigger was someone telling me that I'm not allowed to feel pain. I acknowledge my past, but my past does not make me a second class citizen. My past does not forfeit my right to be heard when I was in pain. First, they cut me, now they cage me. Instead of asking how I felt or getting to the bottom of it, the team texts my camp promoting a totally false narrative that I randomly acted out without explanation. They even told us in writing, don't spend this in any other way. I have stress, I have things I need to work on, but the worst part of this has been the Bucks' repeated effort to portray this as a random outburst. They are telling people that I first walked off, then I was cut. No, no, no. I was cut first, then I went home. They threw me out like an animal, and I refused to wear their brand on my body, so I took my jersey off. As part of their ongoing cover up, they are acting like I wasn't cut and now demanding that I see a doctor of their choice and examine my ankle. And I don't want to keep reading through everything, but to surmise the rest, he had an urgent MRI on his ankle that they did not know about. It showed that it had bone fragments stuck in his ankle, the ligament torn from the bone, and cartilage lost. And he went to New York. There's a couple surgeons that saw it, and all right, we back. I didn't realize my screen had dropped off, but so that's what it is, man. Let me cut that off. Get my guy in here. You can unmute yourself, bro.
Yo, what's going on?
What's good with you?
No, man, just chilling, just chilling. Just I read that nonsense last night, and I just call it nonsense because if his ankle's that bad, why is he even suited up for the game?
Why? So you call it nonsense because, in your opinion, he shouldn't have played at all.
Yeah, why would you even suit up if it's that bad?
We You seen Varsity Blues before?
Yeah, but his look, I give the dude credit for his talent,
No, I'm
everything
just
else,
asking. Have you
but
seen the movie?
yeah, I mean, of course I have.
So do you
You know what
think
I'm
there's
saying?
any validity to what you saw in Varsity Blues?
I mean, there's definitely some of that.
Have you ever
You know,
witnessed somebody play hurt in football?
yeah, play hurt, but you talking about, he making it seem like he was incapable of doing anything.
I don't think he said he was incapable of doing anything. He acknowledged that he took a steroid shot or a pain killer that would block out the pain.
Hmm.
Um, but go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you get. But it's just one of them things, man. It's just like we talked about earlier in the week. He's gonna be deemed a bad guy just because of his previous behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, so he's going around the team to schedule appointments to get his own MRIs.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. I take anything he says with a grain of salt just because of
That's what there it is.
I'll be first to admit it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of him and his antics. Like I said, he's a great player, but
But you admit that that person. So you got a personal. I don't want to say. Well, you got an implicit bias against it to where you're not going to listen to him,
well,
regardless.
he's like that friend of yours that's constantly borrowing money or constantly having something pop up, and you help them out, and then they disappear,
Mm-hmm.
and
But
until they need something again.
but the
So you
the
kind of
thing I think the thing that bothers me is we all done seen people play hurt.
yeah.
So why is this like? Why is it called BS when we know guys would say, you know what, I'm gonna get out there and battle with my brothers, and then if they can't take it no more,
I guess I guess I'm not necessarily questioning the full injury,
mm-hmm.
what have you. But then why you gotta make yourself the show like that?
So
That's really the part that bothers me the most.
okay,
If
I
that
get,
makes sense, you
I
know what I'm
so
saying?
I get so how he handled the situation is something that from the outside looking in, we'll say I wouldn't have handled it like that.
Right.
We could agree with that. I wouldn't have handled it like that. So the fact that he handled like that makes us ignore what he's talking about, though. That probably has a lot of validity.
Yeah, it might. But I do disregard some of the other stuff he's saying because of the way he acted in the end.
What you mean? Explain. Like
You know,
what would you just disregard?
well, like I can't be like, okay, well, yeah, they cut him on the sideline, so then he stripped his clothes all. He stripped his uniform off and
That's
threw the
because
shirt and the glove.
yeah, okay. No, I
Yeah.
can respect that. I can respect that. Like I've seen guys get cut during the game. So when he said that, that resonated with me. I could see somebody that never witnessed it could say, "Nah, that'll never happen." And that's the beautiful thing about this world. We pull from our past experience. So there is going to be that divide because people won't believe that coaches will cut somebody during the game on that type of level.
Oh no, I do believe that. We've heard about Parcells cutting people at halftime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that part of it. But it's just one of the things like so they stuck it out with him through all the other nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then now all of a sudden, because he's hurt, they're gonna cut him. He won't go in the game.
So I think it's this. So you mentioned Bill Parcells. We could look at the Bobby Knights. We could look at any coach that is deemed to have a temper, right? And they
Hmm.
would do things out of characteristic. And I don't think Coach Bruce Arians is any different. I feel like he can have a human episode in which he can throat slash and tell AB, you get in or else. Because coaches, and for the people listening, coaches are aware of who they're talking to and the optics. So a coach, when they know they're talking to a troubled player, they know they could get away with saying what they want, and that player can't respond accordingly if there aren't a lot of witnesses and people who can collaborate what that troubled player is saying. So if you look at the history of Antonio Brown and Bruce Arians, if y'all remember, he was speaking so vehemently that AB would not be a part of the Bucks organization. Y'all remember that? He was saying there is no way AB will be a part of his team. And due to Tom Brady, he tolerated AB. You know what I'm saying? So I can fully see both sides. I could see the folks saying AB tripping, he threw a temper tantrum because his past actions will help us better come to that conclusion. But then I could also see AB being disrespected by Bruce Arians because he has disrespected players in the past. He disrespected this player in the past. So I can see both sides. I weigh both of them. So that's why when he released his, and Darian, I put the link in the description, bro. So this is why when it came down with AB, I just waited because look, man. Anytime I talk about a player or situation, I've learned that you gotta reveal your flaws before people could truly better understand your stance. I've had tantrums like that as a damn player versus a coach, whether it's practice or a game. Just depends on what triggers you. Don't make it right. I'm just saying it takes place. You know what I'm saying? So there you go, Darian. The link in the chat. But here's why the AB situation really had me looking at folks who always talk about football and follow football and was going at AB. When was the last time you seen a player do something as egregious as he did, meaning leaving in the game, making the show about him, jumping up and down the end zone, and becoming like a household meme? Still remain on the team past Monday. Then you go to Tuesday. Then you go to Wednesday. Now it's Thursday. When the last time y'all seen that? So this is why it was really smart on AB's team to wait. Now, you got folks who want AB to release the text messages and any other communications he had with himself or Bruce Arians. AB could be really petty and really jump out there, but he always has a negative stigma about him. So if he really goes in on full attack, ain't nobody going, like, you'll have us saying, see, AB was telling the truth, but you still have those folks who don't like him saying, that's not professional. Why would you do that? Don't do that. See what the chat's saying. Rock Dylan, everyone should just wait. Shit is unfair to be found guilty without evidence and all the facts. Everyone talk about AB would cry in court if they were on their own jury. He remains on the team because there's some validity what he's saying. Absolutely. Edward Bass said, and trust we will, athletes are truly committed, emotional to the craft. My man David said, exactly, threaten a player is not professional, especially when it's his body we talking about. It's how he makes his money, his livelihood. JX, if I got fired from a job, I would leave immediately too. If he didn't make a scene, we will be talking about. Yeah. Now, and I'm glad Jay brought that up. Great, great, great statement right there, Jay, from YouTube. So here's the thing. Say if AB would have just walked off with his uniform on, right? Accordingly, just walked off. You know, because he won't go back in the game. Bruce Arians saying, you cut. He done did this. You out of here. So AB calmly walks off with his helmet, goes in the locker room, never returns. People are still gonna say he should have. First thing they're gonna say is he should have stayed out there for his team. Right? So that still would have been wrong. So for all the folks thinking AB should have just walked off gracefully without a scene, he still would be called a quitter. That's the first thing, in my opinion. Secondly, if he would have just stood there, continue to stand there on the sidelines, we don't know what would have continued to brew between him and Bruce Arians. Like it could have went even further. But I'm not condoning him for jumping up and down, smiling and things like that. That's not being defended. All I'm saying is I can understand why you make some type of a scene. I done got shot up with a painkiller that's dangerous to my body for the love of the game and my teammates. That's the main thing that's being, if he was so selfish, he would have just remained on the injured list and try to ride the wave. Continue to get his checks. Especially after getting the MRI. But it's like, yo, AB, we need you. I'm pretty sure the coaches were telling him, yo, we need you. We need you. Anybody that's ever been injured in sports and is a main cog of the team, somebody who makes a difference. I'm pretty sure your coaches have pressured you without pressuring you to play. Comments, communications, certain keywords, certain phrases. Hey, man, it's a big game. You sure you can't go? Because we got this medicine back here. I'm telling you, how long you think it'll last? It'll last this long. Been there. Had a hurt Achilles. Then played with hurt hamstrings. Then played with MCL grade 2 strains. Big Don Joy knee brace on. Then played with deep thigh bruises with knots where I couldn't practice all week. Then you get painkillers and you play, and by the fourth quarter, you in so much excruciating pain that you surprised you can even walk. And then you repeat it all over again. Been there. Done that. We got to stop. Like, for the folks who aren't privy to playing at the level in which this comes into play, because when you're in high school, you don't get no, like that I know of, you don't get no painkillers, like no pills or painkillers. You get to college, that's when your eyes are wide open. That's why I asked him, he ever seen the movie Varsity Blues? You remember when the running back was getting shot up in the knee? It's a reason why people ain't like the movie The Program, because they was pulling the curtain back. I'm just saying, we can't dismiss when athletes tell you this takes place and that takes place, because you don't know. What you got to do is kind of fall back, receive the information, and document it in your brain. And if it come up again, be like, damn, so-and-so said that just a couple months ago. So that's why when it came up about AB, when I saw what he did on Sunday, I didn't jump out there and start defending him. I ain't jump out there and start condemning him. I just said, yo, y'all know I always say, yo, man, I just need my guy to make sure mentally he there, because that's what's going to be attacked. His mental is going to be attacked. Let me read some of these comments. If he didn't cause a scene, would he ever have had a chance to get his side of the story out? I don't know. That's a great question. Where did the bonus narrative come from? The bonus narrative. Here we go. Thank you, X. I don't know where the bonus narrative came from, but it would fit the stance for a player like Antonio Brown. Right? Because it makes the optics look that much more believable right there. They ain't putting him back in the game because he's going to reach a bonus. Right? Even though we know about him missing games and what went down. And you down. Even with that narrative, you can still, if you want to back him, you can still say, dog, you losing. You going to need him. He was having a productive first half. Like, what we doing? Then the narrative was, you throwing to Gronk. You ain't throwing to me. My man Rock said, bro, I was on crutches from the doctor and my coach took them and said, you playing. This was in high school. Wow. Mike Britt said, what if he went out there and really messed his ankle up, could never play again? That's when they say, assume at your own risk. Not calling him crazy, never did, but I'm not automatically going to accept what he says as the sole truth. Nobody's asking you to do that, Myron. Nobody's asking you to do that at all. That's exactly how it works with pains and meds. I played in college. I understand that. Politics. I think him acting out brought light to being disrespected. My man Bean said you can be committed emotionally to your craft. At the same time, coaches are human too. They don't always like the player. They tolerate the player because they need him. Coaches start issues as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. That right there gets lost in translation when it comes to a troubled player. Like I told you, coaches are human. Bruce Arians tolerated AB. Only reason why AB was on the team was because of TB, Tom Brady, and what Tom Brady wanted and what AB can do for that team. So here's the thing. You got Godwin out. You got all these dudes banged up. AB got his ankle issue. AB had the vaccine card stuff that I don't want to get into because I don't want to get into nothing COVID related. I don't talk about that stuff no more. But here it is. You like, man, we got to make sure Tom getting some damn weapons. What's let me see what their record is. But anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked. But it's like, AB, can you go? And he like, yo, my ankle's still bothering me. They like, oh, so they 12-4. So it's like, my ankle still bother me, yada, yada, yada. Ding dong. Yo, man, you tough. We got medicine for that. Just try. You should be all right. How many milligrams and or whatever we could put in that foot and be okay? So he played the game before. Oh, AB back. But then we all know when you get that Toradol shot, any type of painkiller, I done had them in my shoulder. Man, don't get me started how many shots I done got. But hold on, man. I was reading comments. I gotta get back to what I'm saying. What was I saying? Oh, so you get those shots, and then after the game, you still think you fine because it's like the first time you get those painkiller shots, it lasts the whole game. It lasts the whole game, and then you'll get home and you forget that you actually hurt, bro. And then all of a sudden, that pain blocker stops. And I'm talking about, boy, because you can actually further injure yourself while on, like, they could look. I don't want to look. I ain't gonna say all medical personnel, but there's some medical personnel that's going to do what they got to do to make sure they keep getting their checks. And the coaches and the medical personnel may know. And this is allegedly, this is hypothetically speaking, but they could just say it ain't gonna hurt you no further. It could hurt him further, but as long as he don't know, out of sight, out of mind, we're gonna give him this shot. We just need him for this game. Yeah, go ahead and play. And then you play, and all of a sudden it get worse. Like people said, it gets worser, as the folks always say. No, it just it gets worse. And you like, dang, man, my knee really hurt. Up the dosage. Rehab. Take it easy all week. Myron said, I know you don't want this to get into COVID stuff, but it's very much a part of the formula and maybe even the catalyst of what kicked this off. No, Myron, I'm not giving them that out. No, there is no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that, bro. One thing we can't do, all right? I feel like Coach 30 because I keep saying all right. One thing we can't do, if you are a coach, no matter what level you coach, if a player says, I am hurt, I can't go back in, move on. No means no. Period. Because as an athlete, we know our bodies better than anybody. If I've been playing in the first half and I make a comment at halftime, man, I don't think I'm gonna make it. This medicine wearing off. And then I go back out there in the second half and I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And I'm supposed to be a selfish deep. See, here is what I love right here. If I'm supposed to be a selfish diva And I know, and you know I got incentives because I'm a selfish diva, right? And I tell you, yo, my ankle killing me. I can't play. Why you really getting mad? Is that really about me? Remember, y'all said receivers were selfish divas. A selfish diva still gonna try to play. They gonna limp. They gonna do whatever they gotta do. Cause you got people who call T.O. a selfish diva for playing with the injury he had for the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh, man. I'm telling you, bro. You got people who would call a player playing hurt being selfish. See, we will call players soft for the littlest things. I had a dude ask me, oh, maybe it was up here. Do you know why receivers alligator arm passes? It's because they scared. And I told them, no. Playing receiver, I would alligator arm a pass because I'm preparing to protect myself while trying to catch this ball. Yo, this is a gladiator sport, man. If you play this for so many years, nothing's going to scare you. That's the biggest misconception of football, too. I just want to put that out there because I think it was on Spaces, the one on here. Nobody is scared when they play this sport once they done played it for years. I always hate when somebody say, oh, he was scared. No, he was aware. And he was trying to prepare himself for the hit. So thus, he short-armed it because he's trying to pull it in quicker. He's protecting himself. I'm just telling y'all, bro, I ain't never met somebody who played football for years be scared of somebody. They are aware of them, but they ain't scared of them. They know what they bring to the table, but they ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say the two individuals I was talking to that was out here capping for real, talking about somebody scared, but then they won't scared. That's what blew my mind. They were saying a professional was scared that playing in the NFL currently would be scared of a Ronnie Lott. But then I said, well, would y'all be scared of Ronnie Lott? Hell no. Whoa, wait a minute. That's a true life gladiator right now. You a bootleg gladiator. You ain't playing right now. How you gonna say you ain't scared? But somebody who currently a gladiator scared. I don't understand those logics. And that's no disrespect. I'm not disrespecting them, but you disrespecting them. Nobody's look, man. No. Now, so here's the thing, Robert. Nobody's coming to AB's pity party. All right. This is not a pity party. This is making folks aware. But I see who you're talking to. I just want to make sure that this isn't a pity party right here. You know what I'm saying? So let me get my man Axe in the building. What's good with you, fam?
What's up, fam? My bad. I'm looking a little crazy. I'm in the car right now.
Oh, you good?
But getting back to it, it was just funny how, just to recap, the first narrative that came out was the whole issue of bonus money. That was the first thing that came out. But getting to your other point about coaches taking advantage of players and pushing them to their level, there's a level that we used to be meatheads and, we can go all day, whether we're hurt or not. There's players that want to play. Then there's players that are like, Coach, I can't go.
Yeah.
And then there's players like, I don't know if you remember the story, the University of Toledo quarterback that was paid money to sit out at halftime. So you get issues like that too.
Hmm.
You feel?
Yeah. No, with you.
But going back to some of these coaches that take advantage of that from high school all the way, especially through college. I mean, some of the antics that went on over the weekend with players unhappy with their program because of different issues. Ohio State, I follow them obviously, but them being one of them. They had a DB tweeting and saying different things. And so there's a lot of issues that we see from the media standpoint. And don't get it wrong, people got to understand NFL runs their PR program so well. Because if you look right after that incident, if you turn through every NFL station, CBS, Fox, they all ran the narrative about how bad he was, about it's all him, somebody needs to get him help, Strahan, all of them. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, uh-oh, let me even Strahan took a different stance on it.
Yeah. And my thing, I think my thing is this, because I saw what Rob just shared, I saw what Myron just shared. Here's my thing is this. This is what I do. This is what I don't do. And y'all can quote me. Somebody's past actions and stuff don't take away what's taking place right now. I think that's why a lot of times bad stuff that happen to folks just get pushed to the back, because yes, somebody could be an asshole for a long period of time. And then somebody could do them wrong. And y'all say, well, they are asshole. He probably lying again.
Right.
And we keep saying, going off their history. They do this. They keep doing that. They keep doing that. Y'all gonna irritate the hell out of me if that's gonna be y'all approach, because nah, I'm gonna stay away from that. But that irks me, because a lot of times that's why people can't really change their ways, because as soon as they had that one little mishap, y'all be like, up there he go again. You can't never backslide. You know what I'm saying? You can't never backslide when you're trying to do better. Like everybody, yeah, man. That's my mental health side. Just coming
on that note, though, if you notice, though, it's always labeled like this player is a diva or this person's this or that. You know, from your Cams to your Steve Smith that we talked about the other day to they label these guys divas through the PR, through the NFL, and then it's so quick to turn that blind eye on what's the real story. And then we don't even talk about the John Gruden stuff, because that NFL, we threw that out there and that went underneath the rug and we haven't heard nothing about it. And so their PR program is way, way ahead of us before we even know it. Even if that's why sometimes it's hard for me to watch the announcers. Like, listen to the way they were on Ben Roethlisberger the other night. Like, I understand it was his last night and he did all this and all that, but the way they were praising this man, I was like, okay, we don't forget about some of those other issues. You know what I'm saying? But why is it other athletes that go down, like your Michael Irvins and other ones, they're labeled, a certain way, or a certain cancer to a team or a certain cancer to the NFL, but some of the other ones are not. I mean, you got that with Aaron Rodgers right now. He's having issues with somebody not wanting to vote him in because of the whole, I know you don't want to talk about it, but it is part of the landscape, the whole COVID issue. Now, why is he treated different opposed to he didn't get suspended? Okay. But Antonio, now when we go back to AB, now that's another red flag on him. Now he got suspended, got fined for all that, but they don't do that with the Aaron Rodgers and the other ones across the league. And and give you another point, that'd be like if Cam Newton and Michael Vick had a Peyton Manning show every Monday night. Do you think America's ready for that? To have a real talk side to side and have them come in and joke around the way the Mannings do? So there's a different perspective in the way the NFL runs that PR program is all I'm trying to point out.
Yeah. No, I'm just reading the comment. Rob said, I'm saying the issue needs to be addressed in the industry. AB isn't the only one. I've pointed this out every day this year. Now because it's AB, now we want to talk about it. Comical yet ridiculous at the same time. So it's a hot topic right now. It's a polarizing player. So yes, I agree, Rob. You have brought to light a lot of the things that happen behind the curtain, and not only professional sports, but college sports. That is correct. So nobody's disputing that you have not done that. But at the same time, this is no different than when we see things happen in the world. We know polarizing figures are talked about the most. It's no different than death. When a polarizing figure dies, the whole world knows. When our loved one passes away, only Facebook friends know. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to take away. So what I'm doing is I'm talking about these situations, understanding that, and I'm like you, Rob, it's two sides to the coin. And like X said, everybody came out and was like, yo, it's his contract, it's his contract, it's his contract. And even me, I was like, that don't make sense. So I stayed away from it. I said that could play a role. It could play a role. But when he released his text messages, I was like, ooh, okay. Now he released his side. What is everybody saying? And I don't see. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What'd your boy Czar say? Oh, if Arians comes out and says his statement and AB says his, which one you going to believe? Well, I mean, like you said, there's two sides to the coin. The part that we can't see is that 1.75 millimeters on that other side of that coin, because there's that side, the other side, and the truth. But how many players to piggyback off that? Some coaches get frustrated in the preseason because all of a sudden all these players got hamstring issues and can't practice. And there used to be jokes about them faking that back in the day.
Yeah. And what Rob just said was absolutely right. It becomes about AB, not the issue that needs to be fixed. That's absolutely correct. And that's why I don't want us to just get lost in is AB and his history versus is he telling the truth, is he not telling the truth. That's why I kept focusing on, hey, even I went through shots and playing hurt and understanding the pressures of playing. And Rob, you have come on this platform and talked about how coaches can bully and manipulate players and then use the not playing against them. So, yeah, we're going to make sure that's out in the forefront more than AB. It's just we know AB is a polarizing figure. It's the old swoop and dupe that the media do on the outside. I'm swooping and duping using AB to tell y'all this is not him.
Didn't they do that to Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, Rob went through it too. Yeah. This just ain't AB. It's dudes on AB's team that's going through it right now. Matter of fact, Aaron Rodgers got a toe and he doing it right now.
Right.
He got a toe injury. He doing it right now. Anybody? So notice this. Where do y'all think the terminology injury prone came from? Huh? We will dismiss a player's career because we say, man, he always hurt. Hey man, you soft. You get a little nick and you always sitting out.
But there's another real side to that. Let's not forget about the money, because the only reason why the NFL has to report their injuries is because of Vegas.
There you go. Yep.
That's facts. Only reason why they got to report those injuries was because Vegas, they know how to run those numbers up. As soon as the Browns, if you would have watched the way the lines changed when the Browns all had COVID, Browns was favored by 3, and all of a sudden that flipped. You know what I'm saying? Or they were not favored by 3. I think they were only supposed to lose by 3. Then it went up to like 6 or 7 right after they found out that a bunch of those players had COVID. That switched right now. And that's why I was talking about the Toledo thing, is because there was a story that ESPN ran about betting in college. And they said when Toledo Rockets played out in Vegas, I think they played UNLV, they knew the way the lines came in, there had to be something up. And then I'm a conspiracy guy. Let me get you on this one. Just to bring it back with the whole betting thing.
Okay.
So Monday before the Ohio State-Michigan game, ESPN comes out and says, we're going to be at the Ohio State-Michigan game for the big game. Now, why are we going to have Fox, who runs Big Ten, be there? And why is Michigan going to be there? Now, I know this is going to be far out, but I said it that morning. I said Ohio State's going to lose. Why would Michigan be there? Why would ESPN be? Why would out of all the crazy rivalries that week, why are those both networks there? Now, of course, Buckeyes lose. All of a sudden, Michigan's pushed up. But ESPN, do they get advantage of that because they're part of SEC? Do they get a part of all that money that they're about to make this next Monday night? So the money has a big issue, is what I'm trying to bring it full circle with, and how the PR from ESPN, the way they run their PR program just as well as the NFL.
So I just seen that AB actually released the text messages between him and Bruce Arians. The Shade Room did. Shout out to my guy Beam, who shared it with me on Instagram and said, this is BA. Make sure you're ready for the game tomorrow. Ready to go tomorrow. We are not, capital R not, resting for the playoffs. Call me. AB responds, I'm all in, coach. Really can't get the full speed. I want to win, want to be there. But if I wake up tomorrow, feel better, I'll be ready. Kind of rolled it outside on 2-point play. I want what's best for the team. Let me know when you're free. I'll call you. And then BA says, come see me in the morning. We'll talk it out. Definitely want you with us in case you're ready.
See, that sounds like there's deeper issues there than all that. Because if all these text messages were exchanged, but then the PR changed during the game, and then he got frustrated and said, "Hey, you just put your hand across your throat. You want me off the team." Like, it just seemed like there must be some deeper issues, and that's why Tom Brady didn't know what to say when he was asked about it at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, it goes to show that Bruce Arians wanted to win that game. Period. I got the link in the description, Rob. Yeah, just go to the description of the Facebook, and it's in there if you want to jump in. But yeah, so look, man, this is something that goes on a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are pressured to play hurt because they say do it for you. No, look, I'll give you a prime example. Look at college football and the players opting out. They opt out. Kurt Herstreet, said what he said, and then somebody interviewed him a day later. He said, if you guys would listen to all, 8 minutes of the conversation, you would have seen that I said these kids aren't bad kids, but back in our day, you just had to play. Yeah, that's the key word. Back in our day, Kurt Herstreet, you had to play. You didn't have any power, zero power. You didn't have no power. So let me see if I can send this to Rob in this messenger. Hold on. So I get my man Robert T. Green in here. Let me pull his name up. I had to do it for my phone. God dang it. But again, AB's going through the situation. AB's not the first. He's not the only one. This isn't the only level. That go Rob right there. What up, though?
Happy New Year, Hawk.
Happy New Year, bro. What's up, man?
I apologize. I've been without power for 4 days, and so for 4 days on my phone, I got to hear about AB. So I'm gonna pull the car back out, little gas I got, and want to entertain this conversation.
Okay.
I've been listening to what you said, and the point I want to make is when I talked about AB being AB and what he really wants, is that the reality is this platform, this story, this situation has been his MO since he's got into the pro sports business. Regardless of the situation may be, there's always something. And again, we know as players, I am the player's rep. I speak every day about things that have happened to college players, high school players. I call out guys like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer. I said on your show, Urban Meyer will not make it 2 years. I talked about his 31 arrest at Ohio State. I said he's the only person to develop a guy like Aaron Hernandez, the only known 2-time serial murderer, and getting paid royally for it. At the end of the day, I talked about Percy Harvin being high since he got in college. And then when the guy Marcus Williams from Ohio State points out things and he said, I'm going to ruin your life. I talk about these things regularly. AB came into the NFL and became a 5th-round pick, not because of CTE, not because he came in because of his behavior. You played arena, I played arena. I don't care who knows. I carried home his daddy, downtown Eddie Brown, several nights. When I talk about professional development and learned behavior, this is $1 trillion industry. And what we know, coaches always use the players' best interest for them. And they use the word team to indoctrinate and keep the players from actually understanding their true value and worth. I say it every day. So when I'm saying this about AB is that you cannot, when I say AB's going to hurt all of us, because the bottom line, what the focus should be about is that this is what happens to every athlete that has a dream and aspiration of being a pro athlete. Happened to you, happened to me, every single person that gets past the basic high school level. And it's even worse today. Because what they call sports traffickers. You got everybody right now telling somebody 7-year-old they're an all-star, sending them to Georgia from Virginia to pay for a hotel and expenses for a uniform, call them an all-star. This is where it starts. This is where it starts. And then when that kid gets hurt at 9 years old and they say, oh, let's put dirt on it, it's not about Bruce Arians. It's not about AB. This is the industry I said before, that at the end of the day, we are basically, when I say sports is basically played for team as an indentured servant, not DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when I talk about advocating, elevating the athlete's actual interests, I cannot sit back and allow something that's so important, so powerful, so right. Like I said, I started pre-post game 7 years ago. I was the only company ever speaking about athletes' mental health in my actual profession. I've been in the mental health field since 2004. And so when someone says mental health, I get really, really upset about it, because no different than what's going on when all of a sudden Ben Simmons is doing what he was doing in Philadelphia, that Rich Paul, because he's LeBron's friend, who want to be labeled a super agent, now want to say, oh, yeah, mental health. No, there are people that go through these things for real. And as a mental health advocate and an actual person that been in it, to let people just because they don't want to do their job and don't want to be professional, turn around and muddy that water once again. Because we talk about black people not speaking about mental health. It's not about just black people. It's about understanding what mental health really is. There's a lot of excuse makers in this industry, players a long way. When it comes to coaches, and as I said to every player, don't look at Bruce Arians no different. This is every high school coach across America. This is every youth program across America. This is every AAU coach. And I don't care if they like you. I'm not in this business to make friends. I am the only advocate and representative in the entire history of professional sports, meaning I've done and created curriculum. I've advocated in for athletes. I have the only University of Iowa. It's the only school in the history of the United States of America that's in federal court for racism and bullying right now. And ESPN don't even talk about it. I represent those guys. They're there because of us. Not because what Coach Ferentz did, but the highest paid strength coach, Chris Doyle, who's making $800,000 a year and 22 years for bullying and racism, was getting paid every day, covered by all these schools, is out of a job because of us, me specifically. So when I say I'm the players rep, it's not just to say, okay, I'm the players rep because at the end of the day, I represent the players. I'm not going to walk players off a plank to slap on their face. I'm not going to enable and encourage situations and behavior that, condone situations where you feel sorry for people. Everything that's happened in Antonio Brown's career, when you mentioned the article and you read the actual text message, you said that he talked to the coach. He said he wasn't feeling well. It's his body. You could have said, I'm not putting that uniform on. Every player knows that they nicked up. They can go out there and say, I'm going to try to go through it. I can't go through. This, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And I'm not giving opinions because at the end of the day, I don't believe in doing that, trying to figure it out and your take and my take. It's not ESPN for me. The fact is, Antonio Brown, he would have got those incentives already if he didn't do the vaccination card. The fact is, nobody spoke up about him. He's sensitive like that. Always has been. When it comes to paying his bills, it's not just the chef. Do the research. This man got like bills that he hasn't paid forever. So we're talking about character, talking about believing you. At the end of the day, he has a history, a long one, of burning bridges and pointing the finger at somebody else.
But here's the thing. Why are we talking about this?
I'm not. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody talking about Antonio Brown, like, oh, look what he had, is the people that's enabled him to say, oh, Antonio Brown is the victim. He's the victim. I'm saying it's about Ahmad. It's about the players rep.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, even though you haven't lied yet, but why are we here and not getting to the real point of what you do? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, as much as, because folks even saying like AB can make your fight or the fight for other, like he's the wrong one to rally behind. But if somebody's done wrong, do you not use, like, you still talking about the situation? You're still talking about the situation, right?
Yeah, Bruce Arians is wrong. But again, like I said, I don't look at it as anything else. The whole industry does this. So we're talking about taking a shot to the shoulder.
Not to cut you off, because we're not denying AB's history, right? We know his history is checkered, but so is the employers, and it's more checkered than his.
Yeah, Ramon, I said, didn't I not say Urban Meyer's going to be fired because of his lack of professionalism?
This is not me speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? So the you is a hypothetical for the people not here. I know what you've been doing. That's why I keep saying you haven't said anything inaccurate. What I'm saying is how we will look at players' past, but the employer's past is just as worse. And we need to, not we as in me and you, but the masses need to start diving into what they've been doing for centuries and make sure that comes to the forefront.
That's why I wanted you and I to start a podcast about it. I told you, I'm the one that said Urban Meyer's going to be fired because of what he do and how he do. What made me so mad was everybody, when he got fired, said, oh, he can't treat adults like that. I'm like, I've been telling y'all, he been treating kids like that, and that's better?
You did.
When he made millions off of it, I said this is going to happen. This wasn't this what ESPN and them they danced around. That's why I don't believe in that whole worldwide leader stuff. Because they puppets, they get pulled. I'm telling you, I work with athletes that played for Urban Meyer. I've been around. Then he went and hired the dude that we got fired. And then they danced around that. Like I said, this
and
dude.
you pointed that out when he tried to hire that. You were one of the first guys because you hit me. You said,
because I slaughtered that dude. I slaughtered Chris Doyle. I'm saying his name again. I don't gotta have a blue check to let you know. If I say your name, you're pretty much done. So when I said I'm the advocate of the players, if the players contact me and I find that and validate what they're saying is true, based on what we went through, then we're gonna take all the processes necessary to remove them from the actual player. But the player got to hold themselves accountable too at a standard of saying, if you want to be a professional, it's not a sometimes thing. This is what I said before, how I gotten to the point where I'm at now and being able to speak the way I speak without someone saying, you know what, how can he say that? Because the guys that I represent, the guys that I develop are character people, are doing the job they're supposed to do. If you try to do something wrong, Brian, I'm going to cut you off. You're not going to be able to get over. I'm smarter than you. I'm not apologizing for that. When I said agents are basically payday loans, that's what I mean. So anybody in the real world know what a payday loan is. It can ruin your life. You spend your whole life trying to get to being a professional, as you say, and let somebody give you a payday loan with interest and think that's going to work out for you. Where in this country does that work at? So when I break it down like that and talk about how you got to invest in yourself and develop yourself, this is not saying, you know what, coach got me, he recruited me on drugs, sex, and alcohol. It was all good. He pat me on my back. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, I get accused of rape. Then they act like they don't know how that happened. But the same girl that I basically did it to me for free when I came there to get me to go to the school, then the coach act like he don't know how that happened. The same coach that basically say recruit me, say you come in for 3 years, you can go to the pros. Then all of a sudden the kid leaves the pro in 3 years. The same coach gets quiet, saying university is quiet while they basically sick the fans on to threaten, manipulate, and harass the players. You just recruited me to come in for 3 years. They say nothing. So I say to them, when that information comes back to us, hey, Coach Day said that he can leave in 3 years, but he ain't saying that now because he wanted him to stay there to make Coach Day more money. So the reality is, again, players need to begin to understand this is a business all the way through. But it's saying, again, when I say professionalism, if AB says, hey, coach, I think I can go and coach, that's it. Coach gonna coach the game. You ain't got to do it. What I'm saying is now, you as a player, you really feel like you're not right, step aside. Stop being an indentured servant. Stop acting like you know your worth and your value. But when it don't go your way, don't sit there and go cry wolf now. Nobody told you to throw that jersey over there. Nobody told you to go jump up and down. Once again, that's a third grade mentality in $1 trillion business. And that's what I say for me as a player's rep, I cannot condone. I can't speak to that. I can speak to Bruce Arians because it ain't about AB. I can speak to all these Coach Urban Meyer because it's about the Hawk. It's about the other guys that basically played as a free agent and don't understand 2.5 years in the league where, again, you don't get on the field after the first 2 years. They're not hiring you again. They don't want to pay your benefits. The agent not going to tell you. Financial advisor not going to tell you. The trainer that's gotten you still working hard, talking about God's plan, not going to tell you because we're going to run all the little money you got right out your pocket, send you right back where you started. And so at the end of the day, watching guys that have been around for 9-10 years, and again, I'm not even saying A because I mentioned T.O., I mentioned Greg Hardy, I mentioned all these guys, Johnny Manziel, Josh Gordon. The reality is they'll let you do enough stupid stuff because they can always pay you cheap. When people talk about incentives of his current contract, he wouldn't have been an incentive-based contract if it wasn't behavior wasn't bad 3-4 years ago. That's how he ended up with that situation. So it's like I said, again, going to point to somebody that's in a situation where it's a bad situation, but then you can, like I said, muddy the waters. You can muddy it because now you go, where's AB? And I'm saying is we don't need to be talking about Bruce Arians. We need to talk about to Urban Meyer. We need to talk about what these coaches are doing. Why is Kirk Ferentz still employed? Basically, when basically a law firm said that he was guilty for bullying and racism, and ESPN don't cover it. Why is that still happening? You know why? Because every player, specifically in this case, minority African-American players, are going to have some coach that come up there, show you a little shiny picture of a trophy in a ring with some dude that basically that played for them, that's broke now, but he ain't going to tell you that, who's going to be an ambassador, pat you in the back, and then let you come up there and do the same thing or repeat over again. While when you come in as that 5-star, coaches got a check slid over to them for some recruiting bonuses. But yet they don't want to pay the players. They want to give them NIL deals so you can pimp out your social media for third-party vendors instead of getting money from the gate. Because, again, ain't nobody coming to see Kirk Ferentz walk the sideline or Ryan Day or Jim Harbaugh. So before I went on this next topic again, how I talk about the media narrates everything, why do you think Jim Harbaugh is thinking about going to the NFL again? Remember, I represent the highest-rated recruit ever in the history of the East Coast, second all time behind Jadeveon Clowney, who went to Michigan. This is why. When Michigan got to where they got to, because when you finally get 23 and 24-year-olds to stay in school, like most ACC and SEC players, instead of leaving and go get that bag like Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase, like I said they would,
like you said, yeah.
Then all of a sudden now you win. When you got to coach and develop, you lose. That's why Dabo Swinney is losing. That's why Jim Harbaugh knows he's about to lose. And that's why he's interested in going to the pro game, because it's not what you think this is. And so when every player got to pay these trainers all across the country at the pro level, and they say, man, when I got to the league, I didn't know nothing. Mind you, we running around chasing recruiting stars from rivals and all those other things, 247, only to have the players be told when they get to the league, who taught you that BS? Who taught you that? You laughing because you know it's true. I know. And I'm the only one that's saying it publicly. That's why trainers make so much money at the pro level, because everything that happened in high school and college got to be scrubbed. But we chasing these dudes around at AAU and chasing these dudes around with these All-American 7-year-old All-Star games. They ain't learning nothing. They getting pimped out. Parents, stop pimping your kids out. Contact prepostgame.com. It's not what you think it is.
That just dominate that level. It doesn't.
Right.
It can't transfer. I mean,
no
travel. Like you can't go from here to there and still do well, because they like, no, it's just gonna do good here.
It don't work. And the ACC and the SEC, so even when they did this situation, Michigan should have been the #1 ranked team in the country, not Alabama. Said Gary Barter, again, Gary Barter on the commission is the athletic director of Iowa. You know, the same Iowa that allowed racism and bullying for 20 years. So my point is, when you talk about problems, we didn't get Jerry Sandusky because of the players. We didn't get Dr. Larry Nassar when the $380 million settlement was paid to these females in gymnastics. If you think that was that bad in gymnastics with females, what do you think for the last 151 now years between college athletics off of basketball and football that dominates? When we went into a pandemic, the world said, hey, everybody stay home except for the African-American athlete, football, basketball, and women's basketball. Y'all come out here and get that herd immunity, get that myocarditis that nobody going to talk about until 17 years from now. So when I said before, I'm not going to be alive probably, but I'm not going to sit back and wait to say, I know exactly how this is going to go. So when it comes to people like AB athletes as the players, I got to stop this right in this tracks. It's like at the end of the day, Bruce Arians the issue. The hell with AB. He's not conducting himself as a professional. He never has. And what we do at the Players Rep is try to develop these people to understand, like, this game ain't forever. Relationships matter. How you conduct yourself is everything. You do all this, they want to put text messages out. That's what 6-year-olds do. And that's a fact. And like I said again, that's where I said again, I'm not going to have another athlete that I talked to, or AB did it. Well, guess what? His talent is better than yours. I can tell you that. His talent's better. That's why he ended up being a 5th round. So that's saying that talent, you point at AB lost $70 million off of his actions. You want to be him? You could, not over here. You're not going to lose it over here. So you could jump up and down how you want. You lost $70 million for your character and your lack of development in a $1 trillion sport that you want to be in. In the industry, when it comes to coaches, you've been like that since you was a kid. So everybody that allowed AB to do what AB do, yeah, that's another situation too. Because AB allowed them to basically do what he do so they can get paid more, so he can pay less. And again, guess what that is? That's called business. Your value, your worth, your leverage. You burn it. Don't come back here crying wolf. That's all I wanted to get in here and say. And I'm still mad at you, though, because I feel like you got big time now. You know, all these shows, they say, you can't talk to the Players Rep, man. You're going to get one of our coaches fired one day. It's impossible. It's a possibility.
No, man. When you called me the other morning, I was running. And I was like, every time I said, I'm terrible at hitting people back, but I ain't nobody.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. That's what I really want to say. You becoming, you can't get hit up all the time now. You got your time is set up and you're growing and you're doing things and your stuff is real. Like I said, this conversation we having now, real is one. And they ain't gonna have it on ESPN. No, like I said, two people dance around and skip about what the facts are. That's all I was saying is like, yeah, this Bruce Arians thing, not AB thing. This ain't nothing new. But the same thing when it comes to the players, though. The players end up doing situations, they go out and get caught up, do things stupid. Then they turn around and try to point to the ball club or point to the trainer, like, nah, that was you. Like, again, being a professional ain't a sometimes thing in the industry is a short-lived career like the NFL or the NBA. That's all I'm saying. So last thing I say on this, when Ben Simmons all of a sudden, not in the beginning, but he couldn't get what he want, now he's screaming mental health. It pissed me off to no means. Because again, the quote unquote Super H and Rich Paul, who don't know nothing that I know, except that his friend is LeBron. I'm just trust the facts, not the
That's
process.
it.
Do the research. He's not qualified to speak the way I speak on anything pertaining to sports. But when all of a sudden you throw it out, there's a lot of athletes that are really going through this. They got manipulated and abused, like at the University of Iowa. And then they're gonna be like, well, yeah, like Ben Simmons, right? That makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, in the end of the day,
I
that's
feel
not being a
you.
professional.
Yeah.
You got to grow the hell up. And so those two parallels are equal in a sense that when things don't go their way, then it becomes a woe is me thing. So again, from the Sixers standpoint, you sign the contract, you don't like playing it. Oh, it's a job, bro.
Yeah.
You don't have to play basketball. You don't have to play football, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
You don't have to. So that all I'm saying is that we're not going to sit here and spend it, let the world get captured by this guy again. When guys like Bruce Arians, when guys in Iowa, when guys in Ohio, when the fans are right now threatening players. So let me say this on your podcast real quick.
Yep.
But the fans that like to actually keep threatening these young athletes in a sense of when they don't do what they want to do for their own best interest. As I said, we were doing that pre-post game now. Since the coaches and the president of the university aren't basically capable or man enough or woman enough to actually speak up and say that's not right, which causes mental health damage, which causes fear, which causes anxiety. Then when we find that you do that, we're going to keep that information. We're going to put it in our bench. So when we do recruiting processing on certain things, we're going to say, nah, you shouldn't go there because your plan is to go leave in 3 years, which you're right to do, like Jamar Chase and Michael Parsons. We're going to say, go to North Dakota State like Trey Lance did and get drafted number 3 overall. You ain't got to play for no cotton t-shirt and ring and aluminum ring with Nick Saban. You ain't got to deal with that. Take care of you and your family. And we're going to publicize it. We're going to call them out directly because it's unacceptable that these grown men that would lie to these kids in their face, say we're going to be here, or fake accents like Brian Kelly and leave in the middle of the day with a text and then turn around, do it for the team. We're done with that. This is 2022. 2022. We are equal partners in this. It's a damn shame in the NFL that you got 48% of players that basically are 1,400 active making 48% when 52% is going to 32 owners, when the players' bodies would make everything go. But the problem that's why that won't change is because the players are not being taught to be professionals. They're not developed to be professionals. They do things like Antonio Brown that allow these people in business to cut their check in 77ths, not half, in 77ths, to give you a minute piece of it because you didn't understand how much of a business it really was. So you're not going to get equality. You're not going to get equity because you're not acting like it. And at the end of the day, that's not on the owners. That's on us as the players.
That's true.
Because at the end of the day, until we elevate and we start holding ourselves accountable and start being realistic about these things, talent is talent. But you got all the talent in the world, only lasts for so long. Why is T.O. still trying to play football damn near 50? Why is Michael Irvin still talking on radio shows damn near 60 wearing tight jeans? I know why. Because he lost so much money for the cocaine he used at Cowboys, which is Jerry Jones' MO. Get all the players that use drugs. I ain't got to pay them big contracts. Greg Hardy, Deion Sanders, Pac-Man Jones, Nate Newton, 2-A. I can run this down all day long. Then you said, why did they win Super Bowl?
Deion. People going, Deion.
Deion was getting in trouble, so he was drinking, doing all that stuff back when. I don't know if you guys knew that. Deion tried to basically commit suicide May 28th, 19. Again, it's because that's my birthday. So the reality is a lot of things that go on in Dallas are behind the scenes, in a sense, don't come to light. Behaviors is what I'm talking about when Deion. The behaviors of the Dallas Cowboys allows them to cut your check short.
They claim that Jerry take care of you your after football career.
Yeah, they claim. What claim? Troy Aikman is still on TV right now. Everybody that did something in sports. So exactly. So does the fullback, Darryl Johnson.
Moose, yeah.
So every player that, again, let's be real. We know what football does to our bodies. If we made enough money, we took care of ourselves and made the money we need. You think we want to be sitting there talking about guys? Exactly. Darrell Reeves ain't no way to be seen with all that real money. Ghost. I'm not talking about those 17-year-olds.
They talk bad about Darrell.
Yeah, in the mainstream media. Why? Because he went and got his money and he did it the right way. He didn't get caught up off the field either. So he understood his worth and his value, as you should. And then so again, we don't talk about them as much because at the end of the day, that's the point. People still mention Pac-Man Jones every other day. For what?
For what?
For what? Because at the end of the day, and that's what, so how did the Cowboys become the billion-dollar industry? Well, all those so-called stars you got, you ain't have to pay. Look at the roster. Look at the years. But then you talk about why they didn't win. It goes back to being professional and making decisions.
Yeah, who is the last
Jerry
guy
can tell you he want to win.
Is Dak the first guy he really paid, and then Dak
That's
really
the
get paid?
yes. And the thing is, why did he pay Dak? Because Dak became a face in a situation, in an environment in this country that was changing from a minority-based thing. But Dak is a professional. That's why he got paid. That's why Dak got paid real money. And that's the point. And that's the only guys that get paid real money. TJ Watt, real money.
Real money.
Aaron Donald, real money. Professionals. Kelly O'Mac, real
Kirk
money.
Cousins, how much Kirk
Cousins, real money. Again, ain't no superstar, real money.
Real money.
So all that stuff coming into the league in the draft and saying, oh, I'm going to get drafted because I represent this guy, that guy. I want to make the point. I just posted something earlier. Rashawn Gary, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, and Max Crosby are the highest 4 players right now. PFF this year grade-wise as far as pass rushes. Rush pressures. Point I'm making is Rashawn is the only player in the history of America as his own sports agency when he came in. He's an alternate of the Pro Bowl this year. He has the best record in the team that hasn't lost a back-to-back game in 3 years in the NFL. The number 1 seed in the bye week going to the playoffs. Wearing number 52 in Green Bay as a black man. Start to finish.
Tell him why that's
professional.
Professional,
because when he's no longer playing, he's established himself at 24 years old as a professional, as a business person, understanding the business and the job that he sought when he came through this situation as the number 1 overall recruit and the number 2 behind David County in history,
East Coast,
as a pre-post game client.
Yeah.
And ain't no agent made it happen because guess what? He's his own sports agency. You know how? We built it.
What's the importance of the number 52 in Green Bay?
Oh, because that's the number that they gave to a guy named Frank. I forget his last name. And Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews is like folklore in Green Bay, and essentially where it's minority, a Caucasian-based society, a small community. So when you give that number to Rashawn Gary in that situation, just for the fact that there are people out there that don't want to see him succeed simply because 1, he's a minority, 2, you gave that number to somebody else who they hold in highest esteem out there. That's quote unquote professional pressure, but not really, because we know what he's going to do in the first place. Again, there was no secret to us. Everything that I'm saying now, I told you was going to happen.
You did.
But the reason why I said it that way is because the players need to understand, oh, I signed with this agent. It doesn't matter. The point I'm making again, everybody that came out in the 2019 draft class, he's the one that started his own agency. All them other guys that signed with those bigger agencies, check their track record, see how their careers are going right now.
Hey,
it's about business.
Does Lamar Jackson have an agent yet?
I don't think so. And again, like I said,
talk about that why they don't talk about that every year? He still don't have an agent. Remember they said that was gonna hurt him?
Yeah, because the bottom line is that's the narrative. And I said about the payday loan. The payday loan keeps getting paid out. And if you don't pay back the payday loan, your life is ruined. Once you take that bait, then you stuck. And the point I was making about RG is that he's doing what he's supposed to do as a professional at 24, and basically he answers to himself first. Coaches he works with. He's a man that look himself in the mirror. If I don't do what I'm supposed to, I'm not going to be here. Doesn't matter what Robert say and do. I don't conduct myself the right way. He's been taught that.
Yeah.
That does not happen in college athletics. That does not happen in high school athletics. It does not happen, as I said before. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Sports is played by the team. Again, indentured service. People talk about slavery. Oh, it's not slavery. Look up what an indentured servant is and understand. When you look at the NCAA, you ain't looking dead smack at it. That's what that is.
They ain't gonna like that.
That's not my problem. You know, I ain't even about like that.
That's what I'm saying. Because
yeah, I know. That's the point. Again, the last history lesson for those that's listening today. Again, if you know about W.E. Du Bois, 1909 and 1905, when the man said we're gonna be free, as when slaves were just freed, the NCAA came about in 1906 in March, and so did Leavenworth Penitentiary in Kansas, the first prison system. So when slaves were just freed, in those same times, when W.E. Du Bois said what he said in 1905, it did not go to Brown Board of Education to 1909. Right after he said it, though, in 1905, the NCAA and Leavenworth Prison were basically founded 1 month apart. For the African American that basically got in trouble, didn't have a lawyer, went to jail for a long time. For the one that wanted to get educated, became an NCAA person. Indentured servant, indoctrinated, how to go about doing this. That's history. That's how this old stuff started. So when I say what I say publicly and why they can't stop me, why are you gonna stop me? I'm the player's rep. Without them, you don't have nothing. And I represent them, so you can't touch me. That's business. I'm not even pretending to play games with people anymore. I provide more value. My company provides more value from an economic, from an educational, from a transitional, from a financial, and a development standpoint than anything going in this so-called NCAA umbrella. Like I said before, it's about 100 years of great football. The 2001 Miami Hurricanes, best team ever. It's only one player out of Florida that you know that has a job worth talking about, and that's Myron Rowe. But you know, a bunch of guys that have been accused of murder, a bunch of guys that basically did some credit card or health insurance frauds, but he's about to be educated.
Hey, Myron got a good question for you, man. He said, how did, and we talked about this, but I want you to share with them, how did Michigan act towards Rashawn Gary with having his own brand / agency?
They act like they couldn't do nothing about it. They act like, because he was the first player to ever have his own logo and his name trademarked while in 2017, which we did here first, which I said we started the NIL, because that's what happened. There's nothing they could say and do. When they basically put that M on his back while he was working, fine. But when he wasn't working and he wanted to be a pro athlete to create generational wealth, to create brand equity, he used his platform that was being developed by himself and us to basically capitalize on that. You don't have to go do your announcement on ESPN to get. If you really want to talk about getting brand and getting marketing, you do it through your own social platforms. When he announced his draft, he didn't do it through a what do you call graphic that had Michigan all over it. He did it on his own YouTube channel with his logo on his chest, with his face and his glasses in his eyes, his name, image, and likeness, so the world can see. And then everybody else picked that up and they went off his platform and they basically brought it back to him. So if you think that when he announced the NFL draft pick for the Packers last year was by accident, you're crazy. It's because he understands the business and the NFL understands that he's good for business. And that's why at 23 years old, he was the guy announcing that with a bunch of 35-year-olds in his suit and his chain with his logo again in front of another 35, 40, 100 million people. So how they acted was, wow, what we going to do? Nothing. He was well within his rights. He understands something we ain't never taught him. Why would we become his own sports agency? Oh, Trump tax law said, well, we can't pay. The agent's fees are not tax deductible. You know what it is? When you create your own business, you buy your car and you go train, and that goes towards your own sports business agency, even with other clients and yourself. That's tax deductible items. I don't need an agent to tell me that I'm already a first rounder, that what you going to do more than pre-post game can. They built my brand. They made sure I had the right training. I'm the fastest player in the history of the NFL combine, over 275 pounds. Just the facts, not the process. Why would you go somewhere else? Everything that I've done and we've done is undisputable.
Stall him out, Debo.
So the thing is, when you talking about what started this whole change in the process of an athlete being professional, who didn't want to see Rashawn succeed, oh, he's gonna be a bust. That's what a lot of the media wanted to say. Why? Because we didn't go to the draft where he get 30 seconds to shake Goodell's hand in Nashville, where we said it our own thing and did it in Michigan. We had 100 million people in 5 minutes to himself with his step and repeat, which people don't know that may mean. That's his logo that was seen across the world.
That Michigan. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah,
you remember the communication you sent me, the copycat.
Right. So at the end of the day, there's so many other things that we've done in this space, but the point I'm making is that it's as great as his talent is and was, and where it wasn't developed, because people don't know, Rashawn could have been playing for Michigan this year. That's why Harbaugh is really about to be out.
Repeat that one more time.
Because he got a bunch of guys that were still there.
Repeat that one more time, Rashad.
Rashawn could have been playing for Michigan this year instead of playing for a Super Bowl, possibly, and going into his second contract soon and be a fourth-year vet next year. And at 24 years old.
Does that usually happen when guys just stay too long?
Michigan, Alabama, and Clemson. And if you want to really talk about it, break it down, Alabama, they won championship. Look at Alabama's track record for pro guys and how long these guys last in their bodies. Let's look at it. Look at how many things they get in trouble with off the field. While again, we still talking about Alabama and powers that be. That's why I said when they did this whole thing about committee and picking what's what to basically fund as indentured servants in places like Georgia and Alabama, because they knew at the end of the day that's what they really wanted. They wanted to get that money back into those communities. That's why Michigan ended up where they were.
And I'm glad you said that, because when it comes to players opting out, we always hear, how do you abandon your teammates? And I always tell folks, you clearly ain't never been on a football team at this level, because ain't no team mad that you opting out.
Please go. I wish I could. That's what we say. Like, yo,
I never met a teammate that said, That's some bullshit. He opting out. What?
That's the indoctrination
They'll look
again.
at you
Remember,
like you crazy.
Hawk, remember, team, the word team.
Yeah, team.
People never been on a team.
Yep.
Talking about team. You ain't never been on a team. You never been a captain of a team. You never basically had to lead a team. So again, even when a guy like Kirk Herbstreit's talking, Kirk Herbstreit, you're not qualified to speak about what these players need to do. You were never that good. Gregor McElroy, neither were you. Danny Cannell, neither were you. You were there for a reason. You should be gratitude that you, with your mediocre careers, to be speaking about these guys that are first rounders. Like I said in one of my posts, I said Kirk Herbstreit gonna sit there and bash these players for leaving and be the same one getting paid to talk about how Kayvon Thibodeau, how great he is as a top 3 pick in the NFL draft for skipping the bowl game. He gonna be on TV next week. Guess who skipped the bowl game? Skipped the season. You paid James Franklin $85 million to be mediocre, while Michael Parsons skipped the whole damn thing.
As I was about to say, the NFL right now, or NCAA ain't gonna want to see the end of the year awards because you got 2 opt-out rookies about to win offensive and defensive rookie of the year.
Who gonna talk about it but you and me? I did when I went to the draft and said it.
I tweeted about it, and
but they ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again.
I'm gonna point it all out, but guess what? This is where they get caught up. They think because they don't say it matters, bro. I'm directly communicating with the players. I'm directly communicating with the players. So when Kayvon Thibodeau decided to skip the bowl game, oh, you think he don't know what's going on? You think he ain't seen the history? You know who else skipped the bowl game? Rashawn Gary. You know what a D coordinator is right now?
Yeah.
Back to UMass.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was a great coach. You're a great coach and great players are there.
What up, Czar?
What up, man? What's going on?
No, bro, you outside. You got your mask on. I'm proud of you.
Hey, I'm on set, baby. I appreciate that, Mr. Gary. I got to follow protocol, bro.
You call me Mr. Gary, man. You a fella bumped your head. You got a concussion?
I mean, my bad. Mr. Green, my bad.
Happy New Year, Czar.
Happy New Year. No, I ain't gonna stay on. We're shooting a little spot for the PGA tour and all that.
You, bro.
So, Urban over there with you? Urban Meyer with you?
Nah.
Sure, Tim, they available.
Nah, we got Roy McElroy, man. So we just chilling, man. So
no Tim and no Urban. They wasn't available. They not working right now. No tight end and no coaching job. Okay, I was checking. So that means you were wrong, Czar. So you go ahead and publicly apologize to me. I'm waiting.
I apologize.
For what? No, that's what we gotta teach you how to apologize.
That's how you know
apologies have substance to it.
That's how you know the people is really on his neck right now about doing some work. He being humble.
Yeah, I got to go, man. I got to go.
Peace, man. Salute. Appreciate you dropping in, bro.
Yes,
my man Myron made a great point. Then you got a guy like Jalen Smith fighting to survive in the league because he played in a bowl game for Notre Dame, which he should have sat his little self down.
He lost millions of dollars. You cannot get back. And all these players lose millions of dollars. You can't get it back. And sports is short-lived. You got to make business decisions the entire time. Again, no one is screaming. Like I said, he talked about the players, Kirk Herbstreit, and then talk about he got to do an interview with Lincoln Riley, who just left these guys the other day. It's like the hypocrisy in all of this is absolutely insane. But that's why I said, just like I said, AB, I don't care about Kirk Herbstreit. I don't care about Greg McElroy. The only problem I have with this is that these people are giving platforms to people who don't understand to bully and influence the uneducated, the future athlete. So when I say what I say to guys, they wonder why they're skipping bowl games. I tell the world, point to me, be mad at me. What is it going to do for you? Nothing. I'm the one that told them to skip bowl games way back when Christian McCaffrey skipped it, when Leonard Fournette skipped it. Y'all think, again, there's so much stuff, Hawk, that I've shared with you in private. Remember, I told you Baker Mayfield was going to be first pick. I said Lamar Jackson was going to be where he was. Nobody was listening to me. So that's fine. How do you think Lamar Jackson all of a sudden had the bright idea not to get an agent? Who else was doing that? I don't apologize and I don't sugarcoat it. The thing is this, when it comes to platforms in this country, why I don't have a verification where everybody else I represent do, and their decisions that make come through our company, is because the bottom line is that the fact is there are millions of dollars that's being going in different directions towards the players, and the players not understanding that. So now if you really want to keep these guys in, it's even happening right now. They're arguing on the SEC or the College Football Network channel on Sirius about expanding the playoffs. It's not about expanding the playoffs because they want to win and see a better playoff game. They want to keep the dudes that worth millions from leaving and then indoctrinate their mind and say, hey, we need to play for a championship. That's the point. I guess what's going to happen when they do that, I'm gonna still have players leaving and go into the bowl game. Then the coach gonna get blasted and he gonna leave like Brian Kelly in the middle of the night.
Hey, you
Trust
bring up
the
a great
facts.
point. You bring up a great point. Somebody asked me, said, "Ball when players gonna start sitting doing that can
Regular games soon.
that's no the college
Watch.
football, like college football playoffs." And me thinking, just like you said,
Regular season games.
I'm like,
Regular season
yeah,
games.
they ain't gonna sell no championship. But now I think about it, it's like if you're a first round, it's like you got to
What is the job of? But what is training for? If you train for something, you train to acquire or get something.
yeah.
And in college, you go to a job, you go to get a job. If the job you seek is now there for you, no matter if it's sports, if it's anything else, you now can get that job. You did it because that's what you did. The part was to get the education, to get the development, to get the training needed to go do that. Once you do that, you do it. If you don't, what you're actually saying is that these people, these human beings, majority African American, are animals, indentured servants that need to be herded and do what's best for someone else so they can do it. This whole NCAA thing about new playoff is about keeping the money from the actual advertisers and losing it because no one wants to see what's going on if the guys are going to play in the league. And what ends up happening when it comes to NIL, and again, this happened in 2016, when the players wasn't doing something that had nothing to do with football, and the kid was being bullied with racism in Iowa, the feces on the wall, and then the football team became aware, and they said that, hey, we're not going to play. They tried to get the coach to say, tell these players to play. He couldn't. The players said, you know what? No, this is not right. And by the way, if this president don't leave this school by Saturday, we coming. That president was in that school for 30 years. Again, the worldwide leader didn't cover it like that. This has already been done. The players already skipped the game, and they didn't basically skip it because what happened was the 30-year president resigned. Because what's going to happen is that these players had enough about what's been going against, not even themselves, but people in general. So when I say about the pay the players, no pay, no play, it's only a matter of time. And I'm the one, I'm pushing it, and I don't care what fan or what institution don't like it. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is, without them, there is no you. But with you, you allowed Jerry Sandusky to be who he was. You allowed Dr. Larry Nassar for 20 plus years. You allowed Richard Dean in Michigan to do what he get to these athletes. You allowed Jim Jordan at Ohio State. If no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. And the bottom line is, thing is, I don't need, like I said, to be the huge platform. All I need is to know the players know who got their best interest in mind. And I have a way through digital data and platforms to connect to them. And people don't even see us coming. They never saw Rashawn Gary coming.
Have you heard anything about that Ole Miss QB?
He had like a sprained ankle, I think they said. But again, perfect example. He should not play that game. And being in the SEC and all people in his ear, again, as an uneducated, uninformed, underrepresented athlete, oh, he did it for his team. He loves his guys. I heard that spiel about, oh, he's establishing relationships. Yeah. Man, we wearing damn helmets. Ain't nobody relationship during the game. I'm calling the plays. You catching the ball. We talk later. What are they talking about? They'll come up with anything. Yeah, they'll come up. But I'm saying is, I don't got to be on the field to establish a relationship. But I'm on this field. I can lose millions that you're not gonna give me back. I'm just advertising. You're not gonna do it. So what they basically telling you is that as an athlete, you're stupid. And then when an athlete does something a certain way, it's, oh, you just wasn't good enough. You're like, not tell athletes, man, don't pay attention to none of that stuff. That's a bunch of BS. The reality is, just like that coach that basically from Missouri had to side with his team, because guess what? If you went against him, he's done anyway. He's done. And so again, people need to understand, without the athlete, don't just look at it short-sighted on a micro, look at a macro level. What is ABC on ESPN on a weekend during Christmas without basketball players? Or guys like LeBron. What is college football on Saturdays without the tirade players coming? What is the NFL on Sundays without these players? There's nothing. So it goes from there, from the team to the advertising, to the coaching salary, to the ref salary, to the revenue, to the sponsorships, to the vendors, to the seats, to the security, and go on and on and on, to the generation of the revenue in the actual economy. Alabama and Georgia, 2 games with their committee in southern states, while they telling these players to go out there and get myocarditis for nothing, for that hat and that t-shirt, they get a ring. At the same time, how do they end up winning? How is Georgia winning right now? Look at their roster. You can't even find half of these players in the SEC ages. It's for a reason. It's not by accident. All you gotta do is look at their birth certificates. Again, what, you been on a team where the JV beat the varsity yet? Have you ever? Have you ever seen a varsity team lose a JV team?
Nope.
And you never will, because it's simply, when it comes to sports, it's not going to happen. So when you got Georgia or Alabama, and you say, oh, these guys are here, these guys are there, and that's great, and they win, and just keep going on and on and on. It's just funny to me, because if you're really breaking it down and look at macro, what is college for? If you're an athlete, a lot of us go to school to say we want to go to the NFL. We go to this college that the coach tells us in the recruiting trip, you're going to develop us, you're going to give us opportunity, we're going to be put in situations to succeed, to get to the next level. Only to find out when we get there, we're not ready, we don't know what we're doing, we get there injured, because you lied about our injuries in college. So when Antonio Brown is talking about what happened and with him, man, that happens every day in the college athletics.
Yeah.
JUCO is the biggest slum sores ever. There are people out there that are getting Pell Grants that literally these coaches are still cashing, while the players at another school having their social security number, and he ain't even signed for it.
Yep. Hey, Myron got a question for you. He says, Robert, how does the number one recruit going to JSU actually change anything in your opinion?
Nothing. If Dion could put him in a situation where he could actually elevate his talents, and again, he has to know, the player has to know what the actual needs he has to get to that next level. If they have a cornerback coach, if he has whatever, because the bottom line is you learn to play the game in the position that you're playing and get talent behind that. If you say, oh, he didn't play against anybody, again, that's a cop-out. I hate when people say that stuff.
I hate that.
Because you ain't really nobody until you end up playing with a bunch of somebodies. So the reality is that's why all these college players end up, when you from a big school, oh, that's great. You get to the pros, you all right. Because it's irrelevant. If you that good, you at North Dakota State, Trey Lance, or you at Jackson State, and you that good, you're gonna be fine at that next level. Yeah. What it changes that he went there though and thinking Dion gonna be there for 4 years. Dion is did that to basically prove a point. Like, I'm proving that it's about the players. And when he did what he did, Florida changed the NIL law overnight in Congress, because he supposedly on paper got $1 million in Barstool Sports. When I say pay the players, no pay, no play. So that's directly from that situation from there. So you can either give it to me over there, or I take it over there, as he should, because he may never pan out to be a pro athlete. Yeah. But if he basically elevated and leveraged himself as a business professional, young one at that, to get $1 million based on his body of work, get it now, because football is not promised forever. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. So every player, Gwen Ewers, who they said made all this money, but came to Ohio State and that left, went back to Texas. You think Texas didn't pay him to come back to that state? You crazy. It ain't necessarily about him though, but his has cachet as the 6th overall 1,000 ranked player, like Rashawn Gary. Like I said, I put that back in there because I do, because I got to point that out, because if Rashawn Gary signed with us and he was my client since before college, that means he didn't choose Alabama, he didn't choose Clemson. Again, we were there, we were a part of that process. He didn't choose Rock Nation, he didn't choose CAA, he didn't choose Rosenheim Sports, he didn't choose Athletes First. We were still there. So when I say about the body of work and pay attention, you get the answer to the test. It's like, look at his character, his development, his professional, his situation. When people say he's a bust, why? Because he didn't produce at Michigan, because they didn't want him to leave school, because they purposely put him in situations not to succeed so he could be there. Everybody's screaming Aiden Hutchinson right now. Remember, Aiden Hutchinson backed up Rashawn Gary for the 2 years that he was there. He backed up Quiddy Pay. He backed up Josh Uche. He backed up Chase Winovich. You could be the number 1 overall pick. Don't mean you better than the dudes that came before you. It's your time is here. The reality is
they got that money out of you.
So that's my thing. Will you rather be going on your 4th year as an NFL player, about to get a second contract, which is extremely hard to get, possibly win a Super Bowl, and a career that's beat up?
Get my education, because they got programs to where I still
say that again, Hawk. Because a lot of people out there talking about quitting your team.
I can still go back and get my education, because they got programs.
So you 99.9999, 109.999. You can get educated. Now guess what? What the hell I need to get educated for if I'm 99 and I'm on my deathbed? What the hell I need to get educated for if I basically give up $3 million to get a job making $17.50, knowing how to basically work the kiosk at Best Buy? Keep that damn education. Education is get the money and then you go learn what you need to do with that money from there. They don't you can't pass up that opportunity. It's business. It's all. And the fact that people don't want to recognize it, let you know how much of, I don't want to call it racism, I call it classism, or I call it from a standpoint of when you don't want to recognize the value of somebody, it's easy to try to point out all the things you say they're not doing. When I
Mhm.
said before, without these athletes, there would be no gambling industry. Why they getting shot up with these cortisone shots? You don't care about that. When they break this, when they get hurt, you're next man up. You
Yep.
can't talk about you care about mental
Thank you.
health. You
Yep.
can't talk about mental health and say you care about the team when you say the team and then they get hurt, then it's next man up. That's psychologically damaging to you. That creates mental health and depression. And it's born as every day of the week.
Thank
You can't do that. They
sir.
don't work together.
Facts.
No
Facts.
team. Coach, the team didn't make a decision. The coaches did. The GMs did.
Mhm.
So psychologically, again, players, and that's who I'm talking to. I ain't talking to the fans. I'm not even talking to the industry. I'm talking for the players to understand the business that you seek to be in and what comes with it. It's not pretty. It's not fair. It's business. You have responsibilities. They have responsibilities.
Mhm.
If you do what you're supposed to do, you be good. If you don't, you won't. For every one of them people that told you as a kid, no matter what you do, you're going to be all right because you're talented, they set you up for failure.
Mhm.
That's the point. That's why I'm so adamant about, like I said, that guy we spoke about before. Because his behavior is not becoming of what a professional athlete should look like, regardless of the circumstance.
Mhm.
It's just not. And you're
That
getting
makes
paid
sense.
that much money. You want to be respected. You want to be treated appropriately. Then you need to
Be
act that
heard.
way.
Yeah. It's hard
You
to
need
be
to act
heard
that
when
way.
you act like that. It is hard. It
No,
is. It's difficult to be heard when you act like that.
but
Difficult to
should
be
you be heard when you
respected.
act like that?
Huh?
But should you be heard? That's my point. You making a decision as a talking about a professional.
Yeah.
If you get to
Yeah.
that point,
Yeah.
you make that decision, and then you say what you say, and then all of a sudden you don't like you getting memed, and now you're gonna make it the other way. Now you're the sympathetic. It's a sad state of affairs. But we're not gonna jump right to, oh yeah, something's wrong with him ever since Burfict hit him. That man was acting the way he was acting way before Burfict. You just didn't know it. He just got in a situation where now he gonna make money, and he wanted it. And he was working with a guy that I talked about before, the scum of the earth when it comes to representation. You
Yeah.
are who
You
you
see,
surround yourself with.
and he was the first agent I ever seen fire the player.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's like now you really making everybody aware how bad I am.
How agent
Like,
gonna fire me? I'm not representing you no more. What?
because he telling on the inside was what? When again, you talk about that contract, bro, you signed something that was paper money, like Monopoly, and you
Mhm.
thought your actions, your behavior can keep doing it. And then when a professional organization call you out for what you get is conduct detrimental. Again, learn that phrase, athletes, conduct detrimental.
Conduct detrimental.
So at the end of the day, what's on that paper, guaranteed or not, that can be wiped away like that.
Like
And
that.
those people that's telling you otherwise, oh yeah, and they got to pay their loan for you too. So your
Yep.
conduct detrimental, their invoice is still coming. Learn that phrase, invoice. Because the
Invoice.
bottom line is like nobody's doing nothing for nothing. So when these people tell your kid is 7 years old, he's an all-star, and this kid is never going to really pan out in athletics, and you spend basically 2 checks to get him out there to make him feel like this is how it's going to work out for him. I'm not against having players feel good about what they say, but I'm saying taking a kid across the country to basically set him up for failure in a sport with people that are literally only using them right from the get-go is a recipe for disaster. That carries itself all the way through their whole life.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're coming or going. And we should be better than that. We like I said, you're educated, you're transitioning. That's why I can't be more proud of you. Everybody, but he built this. No one gave this to him. Not the Kansas City Chiefs, not his agent, not UVA, not Georgia, not John Elway and the Crush. Him.
Mhm.
Put some respect in the name. The Ball Hawk Show, the brand, things of that nature, the everyday work, the grind, and things are going. That's what success looks like.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm in a $110,000 car right now that I paid in
Talk
Buffalo.
that
I
talk.
didn't get paid to play football.
Talk that talk.
I played 9 years. I
Talk
live
that
better than
talk.
most NFL players because of my knowledge and education. It's not because of the clients that I represent. I created a curriculum. I created a service. I created an opportunity. I created brand, my own brand, their brands, tons of brands. I created an infrastructure, a business that is basically sustainable based on the work that I put in. So if the wind blows this way or a kid get hurt tomorrow, I'm still here. And so is he. And that's what being a professional is. And if it don't work out, I'm not about to go tell everybody, you know what, they didn't want to see me succeed in this.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give me an opportunity in this space. They said, Rich Paul, who ain't qualified to be what I is, but he's LeBron's friend. Oh, woe is me. Now, I'm not going to be an agent. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And so when I said again, when you got talent and you can make it to a pro athlete, professional level, you can make it in anything. And I say pro, I ain't say NFL. I said pro. Because Hawk did exactly what we did and I did to do the same thing they doing in the NFL. But we had to find a job. We had to find a way after the fact. We didn't have no medical insurance. You talking about headaches, tackling fullbacks 300 pounds in the arena. Try that for a living. Then we talk about some mental health situation.
Yeah.
Every
We had a
on each
wall.
side
We
of the
didn't have
ball.
an out of bounds. We had a wall.
Listen, that's the point. Goal line, inside the 5-yard line. Plays the same. Middle high, come down, crack on the jack, fullback toss, DS come up. 3,000 pounds of crashes. Boom, 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 boom. About 8 times a game on ice on top of that. I ain't never got a check from the arena. Ain't nothing. So I'm like, that's a car wreck. So ain't nobody in the NFL going through nothing like that for no career. 8-9 years. Nobody. It is dangerous for all of us, as you know. God forbid get caught in the pile. Because again, they ain't got to go that fast. And arena linemen are really athletic too. So it's like everybody over at least 270.
Everybody can move.
Everybody 270. Then you 200 pounds DB. It's a freaking freight train.
Ain't nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. And they set it up like that. And that's how they sold the tickets. And that's what they love.
Yep.
Like, so the reality is, this is not like all of a sudden you in the NFL and, oh, I ain't playing NFL. We don't know. Pro sports is the same. You got to train, you got to work, you got to do things. There's documents you got to understand, you got to read, you get hurt, you got to understand workers' comp, you got to understand all these different things.
Yes, sir.
That's business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the only thing I've been trying to say forever. With the industry being what it is business. I don't take it personal. So when a player skips and leaves the school, you can be mad as you want. It was a business decision. It wasn't personal.
A business decision. That's why he came to the school.
That's the point. And you know that. So that's it.
College as a business decision. Why you think people go to college?
So again, why are you mad at African Americans predominantly for making business decisions? That's why I said that has to be pointed out, because that's too easily to be mired in the word team. He quit on his team and his brothers. You ain't my brother. What I care what you think.
Quit on your team. I didn't.
You quit exactly.
I'm still.
And then they turn around and go place a bet on the guys that still playing on that team when they do.
And let that same guy you say quit on your team go to your favorite sport, favorite professional team. Now,
but you say it, but you still go gamble though. After you say he quit, you go gamble in that same team with the rest of those guys to make money for you.
Yeah, he quit on his team. Why don't you go bet?
Because he quit, you should have quit too. Don't gamble, don't bet, don't watch it.
Go bet on them now.
So that's why I said all of that talk about what they're gonna do, and like I said, this is a real topic we got to get back on sooner than later. Because like I like to say things before it happens, so you know. Yep. Right now, there's a real NCAA, Mark Emmert, scared to death push. The powers to be, the conferences. Audience, go to Netflix and look up National Champions. It's a movie with the guy that used to play for. It's my whole body of work, life's work. You would hear some things that I say, and you would see it in the movie. That's why I'm laughing, because they ain't give me no royalties. Point I'm making is that these people are really trying to find ways to keep the indentured servant through terms like team, championship, to not go and do what's best for them. When you have guys like Jamar Chase, Trey Lance, Michael Parsons. When I was going to the draft last year, I did a video and I pinned it before. I said the players will be paid royally today. Point is, when I said you are seeking employment from an employer, your job as the actual employee is to figure out what it is that they want and provide that actual skill set, to provide that actual ability to provide it. And so when everybody talking about, oh, these guys skipped the boat, what's gonna happen? Jamar Chase was drafted ahead of Jalen Waddle. Now, is Jalen Waddle great? Absolutely. Guess what? He broke his ankle in Alabama. Who got paid more? Can't make that up. Jamar Chase. You can't get that back. So you made a business decision. Jamar Chase made one too. He got paid more. Yeah. Devontae Smith got the Heisman. Who got drafted higher? Jamar Chase got paid more. The NFL, again, that's where they all seek to be at. The employer, the company said, we value you invested in your body, not your t-shirt, not your ring, not your team in that. But who else did that? Oh, Trey Lance. He played where? Did he play at one of the SEC powers? Did he play in the season and go to? No, he opted out at a 1AA school called North Dakota State. They got drafted before Mac Jones for 12 picks. So if you know the business of sport, Mac Jones, 12 picks later, Trey Lance is looking at $34 million guaranteed, even if he's standing behind Garoppolo. Could get anything blown out. Like I said, Jalen Smith you mentioned earlier. Or he could be Mac Jones and let people try to make it seem like you're great, but they turn it into go into a game and let you throw the ball 3 times because you're that great. Because you play against because you're that great. Throw the ball 3 times. So the reality is how people try to narrate and make it up. Business is business. And the players that make business decisions like Rashawn Gary, Christian McCaffrey. Isn't he hurt right now? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And again, why we talking? Then guess who else skipped the bowl game? Leonard Fournette. And then what Leonard Fournette do? He got to the league, then he started doing things like Antonio Brown. Now, guess who else is playing on the Bucs for no money? Kind of makes it like you think about it again. How did Tampa Bay become Tampa Bay with Tom Brady? Mike Evans, Dominican Sue, JPP. All these dudes that didn't do things professionally the right way ended up there playing on these low-level contracts so they can win. That's the business. That's the equivalent of being in the SEC
Hey, but the
when they're championship with the oldest team.
The narrative, they took less money to win. They couldn't get
They couldn't get the jobs anywhere else. You had less money to win. They couldn't. Nobody else was hiring them. That's the whole point. That's the facts. A lot of these guys would be out the league right now if it wasn't for the Bucs decided to do what they do. And the league wanted, okay, let Tom Brady go from there and see what happens. But the thing is business. For people who don't know, the NFL teams are rosters of like 47. You got the practice squad guys now. Only top 7 guys really make real money on the NFL roster. Only 7. And most of that goes to the quarterback.
Most of it goes.
So the reality is when they draft every year, you can't afford to be sitting there talking about I'm going to play for college for nothing, knowing that you got to get to the league and hope to be one of those top 7. Jamar Chase, Michael Parsons. Because anything can happen and you won't get paid. It'll go by quick. So the reality is, how is Michael Parsons being how great he is and opted out, and you giving James Franklin $85 million guaranteed for what? Lost 5 in a row last year. Then finished the way he finished this year. You know why they're paying him $85 million? To indoctrinate those actual kids who don't know any better. That's it. They ain't paying for their coaching. They ain't paying for their championships. Again, really, at BCS, how many teams have the SEC has been in the whole time? This is what a sham looks like. Oh, we're going to go. It's the start of the new season. Everybody going to try to win a championship, win our conference bowl game. Who are the same 4 teams coming from where every year, basically? A southern team, a red state city, off the backs of the majority of African Americans. Stay attention to get the answer to the test. That's it.
Stay there.
Now Dabo over there. Oh no, I'm gonna have to leave now because you lie, and then now these guys leave because your lies, and they transfer, and now you don't want to give them pizza and soda pop.
Remember they got paid something else. They got mad at Bosa at Ohio State too.
Yeah, but again, remember, I'm the main one that said he needed to leave because he wouldn't have been the number 2 overall pick.
He left,
and if he got hurt again, he'd have been done.
Yeah, he left them and started rehabbing. Hey,
why shouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And people were talking.
Why shouldn't he?
Talking bad about him, but you don't hear about that.
No, because again, you talk about the narratives all the time. I'm past the narratives now. I'm more so focused on what it is we got to do. That's why I was so adamant about when I said about AB. Again, I know about this man as a man way back when. So again, I got inside information. I'm not speculating. I'm not going to put it out there.
You knew him when he was young.
That's my point. So the reality is when you and I'm trying to establish what we're doing, like guys like RG and things like that. The next group of athletes gotta understand, you can't expect to get 8-9 figures checks with the 3rd grade mentality. How you conduct yourself. It's just not right. It doesn't work. It shouldn't work. By that, it doesn't matter if you're black and white. It's about right or wrong. You should not be paid to be an idiot. That's it.
Yes.
No matter what the profession is, no matter what the color you are. At the end of the day, because no one is actually going to take you serious. I like to think on this conversation we had today that, again, my mantra, educate, empower, protect. I hope someone listen because what I'm saying, I already know. I don't need to say it again. I don't care. Again, who else I need to know this is our clients. Yes. Not necessarily through the platform, but at the same time, if people are listening, it might help save somebody's situation. They might say, I don't like that guy. So I'll let your audience know. I don't care who likes me. I never cared about that. I don't do anything for likes and followers. That's the whole point. If you're doing things for likes and followers, it's not sustainable. Because you'll find yourself doing cartwheels. Like I said, you do what you do, jump up and down. Oh, no, they mean me, call me crazy. Oh, let me boo-hoo. Here's my text message.
Yeah.
That's the point. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't.
You can't basically be one way one day and then this crowd says, nah, we don't like that. So now do something different. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's too easy to see through. And that's why I say I really appreciate you how you conduct yourself on your platforms, just being real about it, what it is. But the longer you get into this, the more you elevate yourself. What you say on the Ball Hawk Show, you can't necessarily speak about on other platforms. It's just
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Can't do it. Yeah.
That's why I created my own platform, the way that I can say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it. Because I can't be silenced in a situation in the industry or a lane that I created for myself.
Yes.
And any athlete that's the sound of my voice needs to know that a coach is there to use you to get them where they need to go for them and their family.
Yeah.
You better learn what you want to do and what's the best way, the most professional way, sustainable way to do that for yours.
Yep.
If you let them direct you, you will not end up where you want to be. Any level. 3, 2, 1. Because that's not what it's about. 700 schools in college sports for all the fans that harassing athletes. 650 of those coaches are lying to a kid in their living room through all this recruiting process. Hope to win right then and there. This is like the kid that came to Jackson State with Dion. So at the end of the day, that coach can get a job somewhere else and leave that kid where he stands. But even better now with the transfer rule, no, I'm going to come down here, help the coach win. He transfers. I'm going to transfer to where he go. Guess what? Coach ain't cut you a check for that. I'll help you win. To get a bigger check. Right. I'm the reason why you going to the next job. I transfer back. I'm doing it because of the team and the love. Nah, I'm doing it for the bread like you did it for the bread. You got me here so you can leave me. Facts. You brought me down here to these 650 other schools so you can not call me and send a text message and then go to another city and fake an accent, Brian Kelly. That's what you did. And no, not be held accountable. Get paid $95 million for it. But who was the reason for the $95 million? The Notre Dame kids and the kids at LSU. What did he do? Did he win a championship?
Yeah.
What did he do? Nothing. He led the team in Cincinnati. These dudes are beyond rich, generational wealth over generational wealth. All those kids he coached in Cincinnati, go back and find out where they are now. Do a 30 for 30 ESPN. Where are they now?
Do a 30 for 30.
With 6 and 7-figure job. Yeah, do a 30 for 30. Where's 6 and 7-figure job they got from Cincinnati when you left them to get the job in Notre Dame off their backs and their work? Do it. They can't. They won't. That's why I said there's no more apologies about what we need to do in this situation. Do what's best for you. Invest in yourself, not the industry.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, man. That's my man, Robert T. Green right there, man. Always dropping a lot of jewels when he joins the show. And damn.
Happy New Year, people.
You just dropped the mic. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully, you say you got power issues and stuff.
Yeah, man. We ain't got power. I know you over the 757. We still 4 days over. They left me for dead. It might be personal.
I'm right close to the UVA campus.
They might know I live here and decide to leave me for dead. But I got battery. I'm good.
Yeah, hopefully get your power back, bro. But I definitely appreciate you taking time out, man, to jump on the show and educating the listeners, man. They definitely appreciate
it, man. I appreciate you, man. Be safe. Happy holidays. No, not holidays. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year's. Yes, sir. My guy. Peace. My man, Robert T. Green, man. When he come in the building, I just shut the hell up and listen. For real. But to wrap up this show, everybody has their own views on Antonio Brown and his actions and who's right, who they gonna listen to, who they side with. At the end of the day, like Rob was saying, let's not lose sight at the actions in which coaches and that organization and the platform, which is known as the NFL and college sports, does as well. How they use that word team as a weapon. Now, the professional, the player, you make the decision to play. I've been in that seat. You feel me? But nah, Myron, you ain't gotta do that. Myron say he'll take the L. You ain't gotta do that, bro. That just goes to show though, Myron, that when DJ Hollywood said everybody always agree with me, you came out front and center and was like, hell no, I ain't buying it. So he need to clip this and put this on his wall. But at the end of the day, man, I've been a player that has allowed the word team to pressure me into playing for the love. You know, people say play for the love of the game. Play for the love of the game. It's not about the love. It's about your goal, right? And you should never lose sight of your goal. You're not less of a person if you stick to your guns and you say, I'm not healthy enough to play. You're not letting anybody down. Because that's what we've been conditioned to think. You letting somebody down if you can't play. If you can't play, you can't play. That's why they got more players. You got backups. And you shouldn't be called soft, a sucker. Oh, you don't want to play hurt. Your body is your business. Literally. Not just figuratively. Literally. It's your business. That's how you earn your money. Because they deep dive into, oh, look how you perform this amount of games. They don't say you play hurt. Like Baker Mayfield's going through it right now for Cleveland. Had that shoulder injury since week 3. He been looking like trash can juice. You think they're going to say in 2020, 2021 season, Baker Mayfield played? No. What? Hold on. It's 2020. What is it, 2022? What year is this right now? I just forgot that quick. What year we in? 2022. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, yeah. So 2021, 2022. You think they're going to say Baker Mayfield he had a shoulder injury? Hell no. They're going to say he was trash. Just like last year with Cam Newton and New England. Anybody talking about how they had the most opt-out players and their roster was by pro standards trash can juice? Hell no. They're just going to say Cam was trash. Hello? It's only a select few quarterbacks that even tell you if the defense was good. They give him this win-loss record, but I bet you if I say Rex Grossman won 13 games, you know you're going to say Chicago defense won them games, and I agree with you. But we don't do that for every quarterback, right? My point is, people going to have a narrative for you. They ain't going to tell the truth. They ain't always going to tell the truth. Me, I'm going to tell the truth. What AB did to lead the field, not good. What AB has done off the field with the Raiders, not good. What he did to my man Mike Tomlin from the 757. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. You the GOAT, because you dealt with that for a long time. Huh? Play with it. You deserve an award. So yes, AB has a checkered past. Yes, AB may or may not have mental health issues. I think he does. And I'm not trying to use that as a cop out. You got to seek the help and apply the help and make sure you getting, stuff under wraps. But we can't lose sight in the fact that a head coach lied. Organization knew about it, lied. Your GOAT quarterback did the right thing by saying, my name ain't been and I ain't in it. But if we're going to look at AB's track record, and this, I'm wrapping this up quick. Pause. If we're going to look at AB's track records, which we should, right? You look at people's track records. We got to look at the NFL's track record. We got to look at the organization's track record. We pulling all the curtains back because this goes on not just in Tampa and with Bruce Arians, this goes on everywhere. In college, everywhere. See, it's undertones in this stuff. Because you fans that say, if a player opt out, they turning their backs on their brothers. They quitting. Think about why you saying that. Think about why you saying that. Think about why you saying a player is quitting on his team. Because Rob said it, and I don't even think he realized he dropped the bar. He dropped a bar. He said, you go to college for a job. And if you in college and you could get said job, most people going to drop out, right? If you're going to college and you're ahead of the curve and this job see that you're ahead of the curve and the job say, you know what? That's the exception to the rule. You don't need no damn degree. Would you stay and say, no, I need to continue to get my education? Hell no. You're going to go get that job because that's why you went to college. So think about this. If an athlete's going to college for the sole purpose to get that job on a professional level in whatever sport that they play, male or female, and there is documentation, a referral, because that's what these draft grades and stuff is. It's a referral. The referral says, yeah, you're going to get the job. guaranteed you getting the job. Whether it's first round, second round, third round, you got the job. You really gonna put that 2-week notice in, or you gonna be like, yo, I got to go? Or you gonna finish out your contract year at this job? For what? Think about, like, shouldn't we applaud an athlete? They're like, oh, I've reached my dream. I've reached my dream. I've gotten a referral that I always dreamed about. NFL, the Shield says, scouts, player ABC, we have you listed top 10 player, top 30 player. You made it. This little internship, I got to go. But you talking about team. I came to college to get there. They came to college to get there. But we talking about team? Okay, I was about to wrap this up, but I'm gonna let Darian speak because I know he was waiting patiently. Go ahead, bro. I got like 5 minutes. Go ahead and speak your piece. I'm gonna let you close the show.
Oh no, man. You know,
I'm gonna get on Spaces though too.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know, man. I'm just I don't have my cup of I told y'all so, but you know, I'm not the type that's petty or nothing like that. You know what I mean? You know, I try to tell y'all, you know, don't be rushing what, you know, these adjustments on AB, but I understand why people feel the way that they feel because, you know, the benefit of a doubt at this point for AB, he kind of, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? He kind of went ahead and exhausted that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he facts. He did.
But, you know, at the end of the day, man, people are still human though, bro. Like, I feel like if Gronkowski would have kind of did some of the same things like that, nobody would have had a problem with it.
No,
Or
because
even
he got a acceptable track record.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But, you know, Aaron Rodgers leaves halftime sometimes unless the backup quarterback, you know, take knees and stuff like that. Nobody bats an eye at that. But, you know, I let things be the way that they are, you know what I'm saying? And before you go to Spaces, I just want to say, did y'all see Kyrie yesterday? I tried to tell y'all need to leave my son alone, man.
9-17, you know, it's better than 50.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
You know what I'm saying? You know, a little rusty a little bit, but, you know,
of
still
course.
put it at 22.
Yeah. Hey, Lance Stevenson, shout out to Lance, man. He dropped 30.
Man, he need to be drug tested. He ain't supposed to be doing that. Say what? Say what?
I said he dropped 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what I said. He need to be drug tested. He ain't supposed to be doing that. He ain't playing how long?
Oh, Shake, man. Shake, you got to get on Twitter, man, if you're not, because you said he's a block captain is my battle rap champion. He is, because how he went into that Sue Surf space after Sue Surf went off on Cassidy and Easy went off on them. Classic.
All right, so
he went nuts on them. Did you not see that? Because mine was in there. Mine heard Easy go crazy on Sue and Bill collecting them. Respectfully, guys. Respectfully, because he said respectfully, y'all my bros, but I don't give a F. If F you, F Bill, F anybody that think, I was like, oh my God.
Nah, I feel that. But I mean, you know, you beat the game, you know, you're not just gonna get champion of the year, bro. Like Geechee has that. I don't care what nobody say.
That's true. I don't disagree with that. But yeah, in those spaces, they need to go ahead and take a nap and then just release all the information in the teams, because you got people making so many spaces with Midnight Madness just trying to get views, and
I don't believe it. Like I don't even think it's gonna happen for real until it happens, because Battle Rap is live.
Everyone just dropped the video discussing. I'm gonna check him out, see what he say. Shout out to Mr. Listen to Me. But
yeah, Battle Rap is live though, so I just
I ain't gonna lie, man. Yesterday was funny, man. When I came from that run, as soon as I popped, I said, "Oh, Cassidy and the Joy, okay." And then Sir came in there and cussed him the hell out.
Oh yeah, Cassidy was crazy.
He said, "But you ass right now."
How you call somebody great and ass at the same time?
That's
like, how does that? How that work?
Man. He bipolar, bro. He bipolar.
Yeah, nah. Some of y'all need to chill on Surf though. Some of y'all comments be egregious. I done seen comments where they talk about if Smack and Beasley decide they want to leave battle rap, they should leave the company for Sue Surf. And I'm like, nigga, what?
Hey, see, that's how we're gonna stop the show right there. Right there. We're gonna stop the show with that right there. We can just keep going. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna edit this, and then I may jump on Spaces and see what's up, and then
Yeah, shoot me up on Spaces, bro.
All right, I got you.
All right, G.
Peace. All right, man. It's my guy Darren. Shout out to my dog Shake and Bake on YouTube right now. Shake, man. If you got a Twitter, man, hit me up, bro. Let me know your Twitter handle because the Spaces. Because I know you like that type of talking. Them battle rappers be having them Spaces. Woo! It's pure entertainment. You don't even need cable. They own it all day. But I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Peace. Hello. Hey, how you doing? I'm good.